to the standings at the moment. Last week we actually saw a different winner than Merck, who was on a bit of a winning streak. He'd taken Mexico and Australia, but he only managed to take third position. Scopefielder managed to win in Russia, and he actually picked up the Driver of the Day award, starting in 6th position. Really good performance from him. Kiziak remains in 3rd position. Man who is in, I believe he's actually just dropped a position in the championship. It's Kangar Khan. He is here tonight in the Racing Point. He didn't manage to finish out in Russia. I do actually believe it finished before turn number 2 came on lap 1. Skyzy, brilliant drive from last week. He managed to pick up 2nd position, and that shot him up the order into 5th position with 19 points to his name. Tommy in 6th, DC in 7th with his 1 podium to his name in Australia. A good performance from him, but he didn't manage to finish in Russia. Then Zarp, the fan favourite himself. I actually believe it's Sharp. I do apologise, but it is the fan favourite, of course, in 8th. 9th for Jasco. Mysterious in 10th. SK Fast in 11th. Ace Boy in 12th. Wham in 13th with 2 points. Another Torgo who's not here anymore in 14th. The rest of the drivers, as you can see, Blow Up, Lacarate, MJ Coop, and Yasu both dropped to F2. Do not have any points. Let's quickly run through the constructors in a hotly contested fight for the championship. Merckx and Kangar Khan fighting together to take that one. Of course, they're on 60 points. Strongest team so far in the championship, with Scopefielder and Skyzy in 2nd. They picked up the maximum of 27 points last week. A really strong showing from them. Managed to put them just 12 points back from the Racing Point team. So that's a slender advantage when you think of it as being 2 drivers fighting 2 drivers. Tommy and DC taking 3rd position at the moment for the Haas team. Then all of the points coming from Kislyak for AlphaTauri in 4th. Sharp and another Torgan, now taken up by Mer, is in 5th for the Alfa Romeo team. Jasko getting all the points by himself. Of course, he's the only McLaren driver. He's in 6th position for the Papaya team. And then we've got Mysterious and Lacarate, the Mercedes team. All the points coming from Mysterious, of course, in 7th position. Then SK Fast, who did manage to pick up his first points of the season with 5 to his name. He sits in 8th position for the Ferrari outfit. Then Wham and Ace Boy managed to pick up 5 points so far this season in 9th. 10th for MJ Coop and Yost. Now at the helm is Kalo. So with all that out the way, I do apologise with the stream starting up. We had the wrong resolution, so I quickly had to change that one. But without further ado, it's what you all want to see. We're going to head to the track and let's see what is going on here today. Oh, hang on, I've got to just quickly edit this one here. That is embarrassing. I've forgotten to change the resolution. Hopefully that is updated on the stream. I've just resized it for you all. That is not your screens playing tricks on you. Let's go down to the circuit. I've not got any game audio for myself. I do actually. No, never mind. I do. We're watching Sharp at the moment. Fan favourite himself. We'll just quickly get up the telemetry and the lap data. It doesn't actually believe he's pushing on a lap. He's on no ERS mode. So, yeah, we've had the first wave of laps coming out. One time has managed to drop into the 1 minute 25s. It goes to Merckx with a 25.9. He's on his outlap at the moment. So, I think we'll follow along with him. Since I do believe he might be one of the furthest up. Or we could actually have... it is Scopefielder, yeah. Reigning champion in IRL PC, and of course the man himself who won last week in Russia. We'll see how he does on this lap. We'll follow along with him as we fly towards turn number 1. A very fast first corner here. You want to pretty much stay off the brakes until you get mid-apex here. Now slamming onto the brakes, just about lifting off so you don't lock up. And he's gone very wide there. Somehow he's kept it on a valid time, and now through the infamous S's section where you really want to be putting the car on the limit of tractions, just about so you don't spin, but you keep the most amount of speed. And now up toward Dunlop curve, and Scopefielder has unfortunately spun the car there, and that is really unlucky for the race winner of last week. He finally did manage to pick up that podium that had been eluding him all season long, and unfortunately it's completely unraveled for him. But we'll go on board with his teammate here of Skyzy on this run, because he has now just come through the first sector where his teammate spun it. But luckily for him, he has managed to get through nice and tidily. He's 200s up on this lap so far. This won't put him ahead of his teammate, but maybe could put him in a better position for the second sector. We'll see him now coming up towards the hairpin on this lap. Really tricky on exit. You really want to be short shifting out there. He went from first all the way up into fourth, and now on the run up towards Spoon Curve, where of course Vettel and Verstappen made contact in 2018. Further damaging Vettel's season. Looks like no cars are in the way for him here, and I do believe he's actually got a nice little bit of a helping hand from his teammate coming down the straightaway. Brilliant teamwork from the two Renault boys. As now Skyzy just going to pull off to the right hand side to get the best run into the famous 130R. Everyone knows that corner, of course, flat out nowadays. You used to have to lift off just a little bit through the Casio triangle now for Skyzy. It's looking really strong on this lap. He was 3/10 up through a second sector, and there it is. He's not close enough to Merck, but it is certainly a good time for him. Speaking of Merck, he is improving on this run. He's not got slipstream down this straight. We'll see what he can do through the second sector split. Oh my goodness me. He's 1/10 up on this lap. He could be on for maybe a 0.7 if he can find the time in the final sector. Now up towards the chicane of the Casio triangle, where the Suzuka bump that doesn't actually exist in real life, and he's actually pulled into the pit lane. I thought he'd lost the car there, and that was a bit of a heart and mouth moment for myself. Do apologise if you can pick up my keyboards on the microphone. I'm having to do it to change all the cameras. But here it is. Tommy's on his lap at the moment. I do believe we could probably actually have someone maybe further up on a run. I think Kiziak's just improved on his lap. He's managed to go into third position. Seems like yellow flags throughout the entirety of the grid. Don't pay any attention to that. Fast is not on a run. Mur has managed to put it in 8th position at the moment. Of course, new driver to the league. He's going to be coming back into the pit lane. We'll see if Kangar Khan could possibly be on a lap. I don't believe he is. I think we're going to ride on board with Tommy here. We've missed out a lot of this lap. He's got a McLaren car. Sorry, that's actually a Ferrari of Fast just in front of him. Hopefully he's going to get out of the way. Tommy slips through. And now on the run up towards Spoon Curve on this run. We'll see what he does through the second sector split, which is just coming up on the ride up towards 130. I will take the nice broadcast camera for this lap. I do like the camera angles around this circuit. We'll see now Tommy through 130 yard, the beautiful corner. He's found 7/10 on this lap. This is going to be an absolute staunching lap from Tommy. It could be maybe pole time if it's perfect enough. We'll see him now. He's on a 26.2 now, crossing the line out the final corner. What has he done? It's a 25.6 from Tommy. Take a bow, my son. That is a brilliant lap, and that is going to be one that is tough to beat. And tell you what, Tommy's put himself in a really good position on a circuit that is quite difficult to overtake on. So really well done to him. New boy Kalo on a run at the moment. It doesn't seem like he's pushing actually. Yeah. Sorry, this is Kislyak we're on board with. Gosh damn it. Do apologise for that one. Doesn't seem like anyone here is on a run. Kangar Khan's been on he's been on circuit for quite some time. We'll watch Blow Up, who I believe is on a lap. Unfortunately, he's invalidated on that one. I do believe that leaves Scopefielder on an out lap, the furthest out, who could be pushing at the moment. Everyone else, Sharp has actually just begun a lap. We'll go on board with the fan favourite himself, spam the carp for Sharp, as I've always heard. I've just accidentally paused it there. Big apologies to everyone watching. Oh, it's done. It's done again. Right, there we are. We're back. We're back. I tried looking at the YouTube chat, but it didn't quite work out there. Right, we're watching Sharp on this lap, coming through the first sector split. Up towards Dunlop curve. He's taken that quite nicely. He's 7/10 up on this lap, and he's actually lost it on the exit of Degner 2. Really unfortunate for Sharp there, but that is going to put a swift end to his run, which probably does leave the man himself, reigning champion, who took the win in Russia. It is Scopefielder, my boys. He's currently just a little bit up on his time. It doesn't seem like it's very easy to find any time really through the second sector split. Through the first sector split. I'm losing my words. But yeah, looking pretty nice on this run. We're on board with the Renault car. Of course, they manned this car himself and Skyzy to a Constructors Championship of 1-2 in the championship and a 1-2 last race. So a lot of history with this car and of course the team, and a very wide run coming out Spoon Curve just leaves him pretty nicely. I've actually just realised I don't think I've got any audio coming through. Oh no. I'm so sorry everyone for that one. I've set it so the audio should be coming through the speakers now. That is completely my fault. I didn't have it enabled. But all this will come to me in due time, and Jacob will be back, so everything will be a lot smoother. Scopefielder didn't manage to improve on his lap coming across the line, which leaves, I believe, new boy Mur to be the furthest one up on an out lap. Here it is now on the run up towards turn number 1. He's on the 26.8 at the moment. He finds himself in 9th position on a set of soft tyres, if I am not mistaken, for his best lap. It has been a best lap on the soft. We've seen 2 drivers actually put their laps in on the medium compounder tyres of Kangar Khan and Sharp. So that's very interesting to see. Of course, Kangar Khan the only one who'd actually get to start on this compounder side because he's inside the top 10. You get free choice if you are outside the top 10. For the case at the moment, it is Ace Boy Sharp, DC, Jasko, and Plowup getting that opportunity. We'll see Mur now on the run up to the hairpin corner, taking it nice and wide on entry, and then cutting back and kissing the apex. We've got a yellow flag through the first sector, and then more yellow flags. I believe that is just Scopefielder, the number 19 car, getting out of the way of the charging Alfa Romeo. Now towards Spoon Curve. He's looking really strong on this lap. I do have to give it to Mur here, as now taking it up the straightaway, climbing up to speeds of over 300 kilometers per hour. He's just hit now. We'll see now on the run up towards 130R. He's 4/10 up on his run. This will put him in the reach of about Caleb, maybe Scopefielder at this point in time. So looking really nice for Mur at the moment. We'll see now coming across the line out the final corner of the Casio triangle. Here it is now to cross the line. He goes 3rd position. 6/10 improvement in the end. 26.2. It's not enough to get into the 1 minute 25. It's not enough to get into the top 2, which currently locked out by Tommy and Merckx at the moment. Speaking of Merckx, he's just coming on his out lap, but he's not the furthest driver up on a run. I do believe that is Skyzy, who's actually just begun a lap. He probably lost it through his previous run, so that would leave DC. I think he's found 7 seconds on this lap, as you'd expect. He's on at 35.6 at the moment, so not a desirable time. Ace Boy unfortunately retiring in the pit lane. We'll see now DC coming across the line, opening the DRS ever so briefly, and it's a 27 flat. Unfortunately, it's not enough to put him up any positions, and you'd think with 1 minute and 10 seconds left to go, he's not going to be able to put another time. I've just seen a Alpha Tauri car coming up. I believe that's Plowup, who's just come for an outlap. He's definitely not going to get around for that time, which probably leaves our furthest driver up being Merckx, if I'm not mistaken. Or there could be another driver. You know what? We'll follow along with Merckx. I think he's probably got the best chance of putting in a time to challenge for pole position. We'll see him now coming through the 2nd sector at the hairpin, and now opening it up to this really long part of the circuit. If you're side by side up the hairpin, you can go wheel to wheel up towards Spoon Curve. A very nice part of the track, if I do agree. I love this circuit. It's one of my favourites to drive and commentate on, as Merckx, you can see just dipping in and out of having the red blinking light at the bottom, indicating that he's got less than 1 lap of fuel. Tommy not going to be putting another time. It looks like he's lost the car himself there. 3.6 tenths up on his time is Merckx. Skies is just crossing the line. He does a 26.1, but here is the Racing Point car, the championship leader at the moment. This could be the time for pole. Has he found it in the final sector to beat Tommy? There it is. He's just found that by 700th of a second, and that surely is going to be the end of qualifying for anyone else. As a Ferrari spun off to the side, that is Fuss, I do believe, as a Lacquerate with a strong time. He goes into the 1 minute 25. Scopefielder retired in the pit lane. What about Kalo, the new boy himself? He's just going through the 2nd sector. I do believe we've probably got Sharp actually coming through the final part of the circuit. He's decided to go into a set of soft tyres to finish up this qualifying. He's just got Kangar Khan behind him. I do believe that DC is actually crossing the line, coming into the pit lane. So Sharp will be the next one to put in a lap. Then we'll go on board with Kangar Khan. It's only 12th position for Sharp. What about Kangar Khan? It's 4 tenths up on this lap. Has he found it in the final sector? He goes into 7th position here. I do believe that could be the end of qualifying. Kalo is pushing at the moment, coming through the 3rd sector, through the 2nd sector, and he is just about 1/10 over on his lap. There's a Ferrari just crossed the line. That was Fuss, who unfortunately lost the car previously on his lap. I think this is the final time for today, though, as now coming to cross the line is Kalo, the new boy himself, in the Red Bull car for the rest of the season. He goes into 7th position, and that seems to be the end of qualifying. I don't think anyone else is on a lap unless Skyzy's gone for an absolute belt of 3 laps on the same set of soft. It'll put them in a disadvantage for the race. But yeah, this is now the end of qualifying, and we will just have to see what happens in the race. We've got to wait for the rest of the field to just come into the pit lane and finish up on their, well, in laps, I suppose. They don't want to take too much out of the tyres, of course. That'd be quite bad if they did do so. Would completely screw over any tyre strategy, really, that they would have had. So I'll get ready for the actual race. First race on PC that I'm streaming. First race by myself. It's a day of first for me. Skies are just pulling to the bit. And if you're retired now, we'll get straight into the results. Just had to take a little swig of water. Hope the stream is running fine. I do believe it should be okay. I haven't noticed any messages popping up. Doesn't seem like there's any messages. If you're watching, just give us a sign that everything is okay in this session, because that would be very nice to see. I'm actually seeing if I can maybe move up this IRL logo just a slight bit, just so it's about here. We'll go with that. So now to the confirmed results. 0.07 of a second separating Merckx and Tommy in this qualifying session. That is a quite astonishing time, really, between the pair of them. Following down through the rest of the order, we've got Lacray in third position, a good qualifying from him. Can he convert that into the race? We'll just have to see. Skyzy, who had a brilliant drive in Russia last week, now takes up fourth position. Mur in fifth on his debut, very strong from him. Kislyak, the Russian himself, in sixth. Seventh for Kilo. Kangar Khan, not a strong qualifying from him, and definitely not a strong qualifying from Scott Fielder. Rounding up the top 10 is SK Fast. Then Ace Boy, Sharp, and DC. Two drivers didn't manage to put in a lap time. That is Plow Up and Jasko. But now, without further ado, we're going to get ready for the Grand Prix here. I don't know if you can actually see my frame limiter at the top. It looks quite cloudy up ahead. That is well, that is quite something. It could definitely prove some issues for the drivers if there is potential for rain. Now, last week I believe we got about 2 or so laps before the rain actually hit. It was crazy. There was a huge crash at the first corner, and then everything unfolded after that, after the full course safety car. And I believe the only driver to stay out on a set of medium tyres was Skyzy, and it completely ruined his race from that moment. But you know what he did? He charged through the order. Yeah, he did get a little bit of luck here and there, but I'll tell you what, that was an astonishing drive. I don't think I'll see anything like that in my life from him, or just anyone at all, because that was really just quite something else. But we're living in the past at the moment. We've got 20 seconds left to go until we get into the formation lap, and we get to see everyone's tyres. And we'll see what their strategy is. If everyone outside the top 10's on a set of mediums, I would probably expect maybe just a little bit of rain to come at some point. Okay, stream looks fine. Brilliant. That's lovely to hear. We'll get ready for this race, though. I'm just trying to see. Yeah, everything is seemingly good from my end. Right, here we are. We're getting ready for the formation lap here in IRL round number 4 in Japan. And we'll quickly just flick it over to see what everyone's tyres are on. It seems like to me, it's quite interesting. So, they are split. 5 drivers outside the top 10. It's a 20-30 split then. Or I suppose something else. A 60-40, I believe, is the proper term for it. We haven't got full attendance today. Only 15 drivers. If you are looking to sign up to Invictus Racing League, then head over to InvictusRacingLeague.com if I'm not mistaken. You'll get a link to all the socials and all the information to sign up as well. So Ace Boy, outside the top 10 in 11th position. He has gone onto a set of soft tyres. Sharp, DC and Jasko. All these drivers going for their set of the whole dear Jasko. What's happened there? He's gone for a spin in the S's. Oh, contact between Kislyak and Kalo. I wonder what happened between the pair of them. No damage can actually be obtained on the formation lap. Plow Up on a set of softs. But we'll head back on to the leaders. Now, normally I give podium predictions. But but I don't think I can really do that today, sadly. Right. You know what? I will. I'm thinking Merc's gonna have a good race today. I think he'll definitely be one to watch out for. Starting from this pole position, if he gets away from the grid, he is absolutely deadly. Really, you have to strike while the iron's hot with him, because you just gotta take him as soon as you can and then try and tame him. He's definitely one of the fastest guys in the grid. He's currently controlling the pace for this formation lap. You could just see behind him. Actually, I don't think I have it binded to anything to look behind. I'll have to look into that in the future. But he's just backing up the field at the moment. You've got Lacquerate right behind him. And then Tommy is just trying to overtake the Mercedes car. Coming into the Casio triangle. We'll get ready to go racing here in Japan. 27 laps await the drivers around the infamous, the historic and beautiful Suzuka circuit today. It's going to be a cracker. They're just pulling up to the grid now. I believe Jasko will be the last car to get onto the grid, and then we'll swap over to Merckx and we will get ready for this race. I'm really excited for this one this week. Japan, brilliant circuit. I've said it multiple times, but you know what? I don't think saying it multiple times can really do it justice here. So Jasko pulling into his grid slot. We'll get ready to go racing, everyone. We'll just quickly turn on the telemetry and lap data, and then we will get the best view for the start of the Japanese Grand Prix in IRL F1. Here we are. Now it is 5 red lights, and we are underway. It looks like a good start from Merckx coming down towards turn 1. Looking like they're 3 wide in the back. That's Merckx trying to get a good run on everyone else. Now coming in through the first couple of corners. Seems like they've all gone through there very nicely indeed. I actually believe that there might be a little bit of side-by-side action further back behind. Just trying to scroll through the order. Seems like Plot's had a really good start on his set of softs. He's now ghosting through all the other cars. Seems like we've actually got away glitch-free in this one, but 8 tenths is already the gap between Merckx and Tommy. Brilliant start from him in this one. We'll see Kislyak. He's now just trying to chase the back of Merckx. He's going to be on colder tyres himself and Kalo, as it seems like Sharp has managed to force away past Plot. Plot not happy about this one. Jasko looking like he's trying to go up the inside into the hairpin. It seems like it's actually worked out for the McLaren driver, but he's not had a good run there. Plot leaving the session, unfortunately for him, as yellow flags. That's Kalo off the circuit. Kalo must have had an incident with someone. I don't know if he's got any damage, and my game is frozen, which means it's crashed. I'm going to head over to... Yep, my game's crashed, everyone. Right, we'll just quickly put you onto the starting screen and turn you off. Right, I'll load up the game again. Do apologise, everybody. This happens every single week. I need to find a way to fix it. But unfortunately, it just doesn't work like that. It doesn't like playing with me today. Right, I'm loading up F1 now. I'm going to load it in DirectX 11. That will probably sort the issues. My greatest apologies at the moment, but I'll just quickly get my invite up. I did tell Merck to give me multiple invites in this one. And you know what? I'm glad I did, because if I didn't, I wouldn't be able to get back into the race here. Yeah, I'm just loading the game now, everyone. Hopefully, all is good. I'm just going to put it in the chat for anyone who might not be listening. It really loves doing that to me. I love F1. It's so consistent with me. Brilliant stuff here today. Right, okay. Load back up into the session. Should be good to go in just a moment, everyone. As soon as I load back in and get back underway, we'll be. I'll put it back to the game screen. I think you might have been able to hear the background music for just a split second, but that shouldn't be causing any issues. Alright, I think now it's safe to go back into the game. You can see we're just loading here. Just got to quickly. Should be fine, everyone. I'm just looking to my left, seeing if everything is good, and we are back. Lap number 2. Everything has sorted itself, which is just lovely. Alright, I'm trying to fix everything up here. Get all the telemetry and the lap data back. I can't be a streamer anymore. Mercked. We'll watch it from here. This point onwards. Lap number 3 has just begun. DRS now enabled. Lacquerate actually the one to put in the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. It seems like they've all begun to reel in Merck just a little bit. Skyzy actually struggling for pace at the moment. He's losing time to Lacquerate. He's almost dropped out of the DRS. Not got any game audio. Just noticed. There we are. I had to just quickly pause it. It should have audio. As I'm just trying, it's a learning curve for me. I do apologise, but I'm trying to fix everything. I believe DC came in on the first lap for a new change of tyres. Actually, no, he started the race on that. We should get intervals in just a moment, everyone. Once they cross the second set split or onto the next lap. So right now, we're probably gonna ride on board with our race leader of Merckx at the moment, taking it nice and calmly at this moment in time. You see, he's losing a little bit of time to Tommy behind him. He's just beginning to apply some of the pressure. Maybe Tommy is saving his tyres ever so slightly. We'll just quickly flick on board with the Haas car. You can actually see he's using up quite a bit more ERS than Merckx, and Lacquerate's using up a lot more. He's on 35%, but Lacquerate finds himself in a bit of an inconspicuous position for himself. He's not really been in third position at all this season. Actually, I believe last week, like Kangar Khan, he didn't get past turn number 2. Turn number 1 was where his race completely ended. All the drama unfolded there, but now this is where the race really begins to heat up, because Tommy is now within 3/10 of Merckx behind him. Kislyak and there's yellow flags through sector 3. I do believe that might be Plowup going for a spin. I think it is the AlphaTauri car. Scopefielder managed to find his way past Ace Boy, and that puts him up into 7th position. Got a big job ahead of him trying to catch up to Kangar Khan here, because he is a long way back at this moment in time. DC and Fast going side by side. There's a bit of lag between the pair of these two, because they seemingly are ghosting through one another. As now we'll head back on board with the leaders, since there's not really much going on at this moment in time throughout the order. 5/10 of the gap between Merckx and Tommy. It seems like Tommy just losing a bit of time through the second sector, and he makes it up through sectors 1 and 3. As Plowup has managed to find a way past Fast. I think Fast might have had a bit of a spin further back down the order. You can see he's a long way back from the AlphaTauri car, so it seems like they're I think everyone's trying to iron themselves out and just kind of get into a bit of a rhythm at this point in the race. Tommy just hanging in the DRS of Merckx. Maybe he wants to get close enough to the Racing Point car if he wants to try and get a move, and he's certainly pulling up right to the rear of Merckx here. He could maybe go for a lead beginning lap number 5. You can see he's utilising his ERS. He's going to have the DRS down the straightaway. The Haas car now running in the slipstream is going to have to look to the inside of the Racing Point car, and that is the move before the corner even comes. He's ahead of Merckx coming in through turn number 1, and that is the move secured for him. Merckx losing the lead on lap number 5, but it is not without reach, because he is still very close to the back of Tommy, and now the advantage just shifts over to him. He didn't even utilise any of his overtake, I do believe, down the straight. He's still on 50%. He's got quite a considerable amount more than Lacquerate and Tommy. Fast, unfortunately, retiring from the session in the pit lane. We won't get a safety car from that one, and he straight up leaves the lobby. Really unfortunate to see from him. Scopefielder feeling the pressure from Ace Boy. I do actually believe last lap by, Scopefielder managed to get past Ace Boy, and so he's really just kind of hanging on to his coattails at this moment. It's the only real fight at the moment, actually, is the fight for the lead of the Grand Prix. So how convenient is that one there? As now we see Tommy just losing touch with Merckx at the moment. Merckx seemingly losing time to the Haas car. Is now coming through 130R. Tommy's a lot closer than Merckx was, so maybe he's picked up slight bit of damage. There's not many places where you would actually get damage around the circuit. Maybe he just ran wide at one point, but I don't know. As you can see, coming down the straightaway, opening up the DRS. Merckx might not have an answer to Tommy coming down the straight. We'll see if he goes for the move coming through turn number 1. He's just too far back at this point. He can't get the advantage. He can't utilise it down the straightaway, and it's just not working out for him. Meanwhile, though, Scopefield, I do believe he's actually beginning to catch up to the back of Kangar Khan. His teammate, though, Sky's really losing quite a bit of time. He's now 2.3 seconds back from the cars in front of him, and he's got Murr. Murr's in a really good position at the moment, so he's having a brilliant race in 5th on debut. This will be really extortionate, and commentator's curse right there, everyone. He just picked up a 3-second time penalty for too many warnings. When you go off the track 3 times and you get an exceeding track limit warning, it automatically adds a 3-second time penalty to the end of your race. So Mur in that one, he's now going to have to number that all the way to the end of the Grand Prix. I do believe under one condition, I'm trying to think what the rule is actually for penalties in this race. I think if it's a 3-second time penalty where you get 3 warnings, you have to provide your race director, and then you can get it removed. Kislyak, who's down in the 11th position at the moment, he's going to the outside of Jasko, and that's an easy move. Jasko, I don't think, wanted to fight that one too much, coming through 130. I'll be back on board with the leaders here. Merc just not losing. He's losing too much time through sectors 1 and 3, it seems. Well, of course, he's gaining through sector 1 with the DRS. But he's just not got that advantage to Tommy like Tommy did before. They're going to start thinking, when am I going to have to pit? Seems like Kalo's already into the pit lane. We'll see what tyres he goes on to. It is a set of medium tyres. 20 laps on the mediums. I do believe it's actually quite ambitious. Oh my word. Look at this. Kangar Khan right onto the back of Mur and Skyzy. So the Skyzy train can be departing from the station. Scott Fielder losing time to Kangar Khan, who seems like he's on a right charge at the moment. 6-lap old soft tyres, which I do believe he started the race on. And he is pushing like a bull at the moment, really. But in a Racing Point car, the Red Bull car down in 13th position, not having a good debut of it. Seems like Merc has really picked up the pace onto the back of Tommy, though. And he is right behind him. 3/10 is the gap between the pair of them. And he's stored up a lot of ERS here. Has Merc. He's always got a game plan. Does this Racing Point driver. He's not the championship leader for no reason. That is something I will tell you for absolutely free. He's now right up to the back of Tommy, and he's probably pushing with all his might to just get in front of him before the pit stop phase actually comes. They're both passing the pit lane entry, as now down the straightaway it seems like Tommy beginning to pull away from Merc just a little bit, but it seems like the Racing Point car just closing up to him even more. He can't get the move into turn number 1. What about Mur, who's right up to the back of Skyzy? Can he try and make a send through turn number 2? I think he's gone for it there. Wheel to wheel, the Alfa Romeo and the Renault car. It's just looked like Skyzy's edged him out, but now the pressure really applied by the number 12 car. The debutant Mur is coming out, and he's kicking at the moment. Kangar Khan is right in this fight too. He's now 4/10 off the back of Mur, so all that fighting has actually put Mur in a worse off position, because now he's going to have the pressure, and he's lost DRS already. He's struggling, is the Alfa Romeo car, and this could be absolutely hunting season for Kangar Khan. 6/10 is the gap between the pair of them. That leaves Merc still onto the back of Tommy, so it's heating up on lap number 8. They're getting to the end of their stint where they just want to burn up the rest of their tyres before they come into the pit lane, and then they're going to chuck on a new set of medium tyres to perhaps go to the end of the Grand Prix in this one. So buckle yourselves in, because it's going to get tasty in the next couple of laps. You can see Kangar Khan right onto the back of Mur, who's dropped off so much from Skyzy. I'll tell you why. He's got wing damage. I think I've just noticed that on his front left end plate, he's actually got a bit of wing missing, and that's why he's so much slower. He's pulling off into the pit lane, and yeah, so that is a bit of an early stop. Merc on the outside. I've just paused there, but he's going wheel to wheel with Tommy. I tried pressing F1. Oh, one of the buttons. There we are. We'll go on board with Merc here, as more drivers come to the lane. Scopefielder getting an undercut on his rivals. Most importantly, Kangar Khan is right in front of him, but I just missed the beginning of that fight. Tommy has managed to maintain the lead, and Lacquerate just watching from behind. I would expect him to perhaps maybe have some ERS on. He's actually, oh dear, he's only got 8%. You're spending a lot of this time on the lap at quite a high speed. It is very difficult to charge up your battery. So I don't blame Lacquerate here for not having too much. He's just charged up quite a bit there through the hairpin. He's now pretty much on 20%. But now this is the closest gap throughout the entire order for positions 1 and positions 2. The quickest drivers in qualifying, so evenly matched. They're going to stand toe to toe before the pit stop phase of the Grand Prix. I do need to take a little sip of my water, because now on the run up towards 130R. Mercked, he's right onto the back of Tommy here. We'll see what he can do. You can see he's really applying the pressure at this point in the race. Are any of these drivers going to put off into the pit lane? Both of them will come into the pits on lap number 9. Merck's got damage. Merck has just gone into the back of Tommy there. Disaster for the Racing Point team. He's got a wing ready. That is lucky for him. Kangar Khan not able to come into the pit lane this lap by. But this is disaster for Merck, because now he's got to change that wing. He's going to spend more time in the pit lane. He just outbroke himself coming into the back of Tommy, who might have slowed down a little more than he would have expected. But it does not change anything about just his own mistake not adapting to the car. Probably see where Scopefielder comes out in all of this. Will right on board with the Renault car, because he could be in a position where he can fight with his main championship rival. And yeah, you can see he's right up to the back of him now. 1.8 seconds is the gap between Mercked and Scopefielder. Mercked in all of that has lost a whole chunk of time. About 5 seconds has been added to his race, and now he's got Skyzy just in front of him here. So yeah, disaster for Mercked. In this one, he's gone into the back of Tommy on the entry of the pit lane. He's just chipped off the slightest bit of his wing. It's really unfortunate. Lacquerate, he's been caught in a bit of traffic here. He's actually got, this is worked out perfectly. Now, is that a safety car? That's a virtual safety car coming out here. And it's probably come at just the wrong time for all the drivers that have pitted. Because if it was just a slight bit earlier, they would have been in a much better position to, all the alternate strategy runners, to see if Kangar Khan and Ace Boy are able to actually take advantage of this virtual safety car coming out. Of course, everyone's at reduced speed, and you gain a little bit more time than you would have lost through this partial. Is now putting into the pit lane, so he's not been able to take advantage of the safety car at all. Oh my goodness me, what is Lacquerate going to think about doing here? Is he going to switch? Oh dear, he's gone into the back of DC, and that is not what you would have liked to see. He had room on the left that he could have maybe dived around the outside. DC now really holding up Lacquerate here, and he's just parking it in the middle of the circuit as he's allowed to do so. But now, is he going to try and fight DC coming into the first couple of corners? DC's going to want to hold on to this for his life, because it's just going to benefit his teammate. Merckx has come out ahead of Kangar Khan. What about Scopefielder? Scopefielder's not too far back. So maybe Kangar Khan could apply some pressures to his teammate in this race. But Lacquerate really being done dirty by DC here. It was absolutely perfect for Tommy, who's now in the best position to win this race. He's not got a penalty so far. Only a couple of drivers have done so. We'll see. Can Lacquerate just get close enough to maybe make a send into the hairpin? It'll be ambitious if he decides to go to. He's not got the pace to do so. 10 lap olds, medium tyres. They're going to be pretty much. Oh dear, and there's DC losing the car on exit there, and well, that is just gifted the position to Lacquerate. But wow, at what cost? He's now 2.5 seconds back from Tommy. He's in a net P2, so he's still in a pretty strong podium position. But the win could have been on the cards, and certainly Lacquerate has the pace to do so. He's one of the faster guys in qualifying. Just can't really put it out in the race. But so far, I'm not going to jinx him. You know, I'm not even going to comment anymore. It seems like Ace Boy has managed to jump Mo. Actually, I don't believe they were too close on circuit, but they've both pitted at this point. And well, I guess Mo did have that wing damage, which completely ruined his race. So we'll see what he can do. You can see he's already pressuring the back of Ace Boy coming onto the straightaway, opening the DRS. Will be one of the easiest moves of his life, but it seems like Ace Boy is actually using a bit of his ERS. Don't pay any attention to that. I actually think DC might have gone around. DC has gone around. Unfortunate from him there, but now coming down into turn number 1. Oh, into the wall is Mer, and he got a little bit too excited on exit there, I think, on his throttle, and he just wanted to try and make the move as early as possible, and it's completely costed him here. Two separate occasions where he's got wing damage now at that same corner as well, and he's going to have to come into the pit lane. Probably has another set of mediums that he can utilise, but that is just disaster for his race, and a move that was certainly upcoming for him. He was a lot quicker than Ace Boy, but it just was not meant to be for him. We'll see now. Mercked on the back of Skyzy. Don't bother about Kislyak and Mer having their incident. I don't know what's happened to Kislyak's race. We'll just quickly see the position changes. You can see how they've all kind of altered in this race. Of course, we'll probably have a look at this when Jasco and Sharp come into the pit lane. If they get a safety car at any point in this race, they will be on the money. As Merckx making his time back in this race, and he's trying to push with all his might to get past Jasko, coming to the pit lane pretty early here for a set of soft tyres, I would expect. Or he's probably going on to the hards, actually, if he's pitting this early on. We'll see now. Coming down the straightaway, Skyzy probably going to lose out to Merckx here, who's now coming at a rate of knots. Which way is he going to go? He's going to pull to the inside line, now making the move stick into towards turn number 1. He's sliding there, and he's allowed for Skyzy to get back past. I don't know if it was contact between the pair of them. That was a really bad camera angle, but it is disaster for Merckx now. He's got Kangar Khan behind him, and now they'll push him all back into Schofield or so. It's quite interesting to see. Fighting for 4th position. We'll play. This is a P3 in the end of it. So yeah, P3. It's going to be a 4-car fight for it at some point. If Schofield just has the pace to pull up to the back of these guys, Skyzy can hold them up as well. You probably want to go at a quicker pace. But if not, if he can't get close enough, Skyzy's going to be in a real danger. 2 QVR boys against the Racing Point team, who've picked up podiums in every Grand Prix so far. 2 of them were together. I do believe Russia was the only one that they didn't score podiums together. Of course, that was DNF going the way of Kangar Khan, and only P3 for Merckx in Russia. So, round number 2 could be commencing very soon between the guys in 4th and 5th at this point. Sharp will eventually come into the pit lane to fit on a set of soft tyres when that is. Probably around about lap 18, lap 19 I'd say. But for now, we've got to focus on what is on circuit at the moment, and that is the fight between Skyzy and Merckx. Seems like Merckx actually lost quite a bit of time to Skyzy coming down the straightaway, so he won't be able to make the move coming through turn number 1. But here's Ace Boy on the outside of DC. What's DC going to do here? He's just chipped off a bit of his wing. Contact between the pair of them. Luckily, I don't think there's a puncture to Ace Boy. I believe we're running on full damage, so really unfortunate for DC to pick up that wing damage. He's just not had a good day whatsoever, and now he'll be out of a points paying position once he comes into the box, and that is going to put a swift end to any hope he had of any points, of course, unless the safety car comes out in this race. We'll see now whether we could perhaps see a fight between Skyzy and Merckx, because they're getting very close on circuit. And it's 5/10 at this point in time. I'd expect that to come down the straightaway. You can see how much Merckx has actually been saving up his ERS in comparison to the to the Renault car. As Kalo's left the session, he has retired. He retired a number of laps ago on track, which brought out the virtual safety car. So disastrous debut from him. I do hope he does return next week fully fit and fighting, because he had a pretty decent qualifying. He's back into the session. Maybe he's just engineering for someone, but here it is. Skyzy. He's going to have no answer for Merckx. We'll take the broadcast camera for this battle now, pulling to the inside line for Merckx. He's going to get the move before the corner comes. He can take this nice and easily. Move made, and that is signed, sealed, and delivered for 4th position, 3rd position in a net. Of course, once Sharp comes into the pit lane, now this pushes the Renault car back into Kangar Khan, and Schofield is nowhere to be seen. He must have made a mistake somewhere, because he's a long way back from this train. So we'll go on board with the Racing Point car. 4/10 is the gap, just about 5. It's kind of fluctuating between the pair of them, but we're getting to the point where these tyres are pretty much at the last of their prime, I'd say. So they're going to want to take the most out of it here, and then they'll eventually get to the point where they're going to want to start scrapping, and at the end of the race, of course, we've got to get there first. So these next couple of laps, you'd expect the moves start dying down, and we can kind of settle into the last part of the race until it all goes it all breaks loose. Kalo leading the session again. Don't know what that is all about, but it seems like Kangar Khan's not closing up to Skyzy all that much, and the difference this time about the move being made is that actually Skyzy has got an advantage. He's got DRS to his name. He might not hold that for very long, because he's losing quite a considerable amount of time to Kangar Khan. We'll see what the Racing Point car can do. The Frenchman coming down the straightaway. Seems like he's just not close enough into turn number 1 to really make a move and attempt a challenge on Skyzy. As long as Skyzy's got that DRS, the move will not be made unless a huge mistake comes out through the Casio triangle. Of course, the detection point is just at the braking zone, and then anything can happen after that. But tell you what, he might not even need the DRS Kangar Khan because he has gained rapidly through the first sector. It seems like Skyzy not too confident through there because he's also lost time to Merc. So now he could be on the back foot for the next couple of laps if he loses this DRS, which he is on the brink of doing so. He's at 9.9 tenths, and there it is. He lost the DRS to Merc in front of him, who is catching Lacquerate as well. Lacquerate's losing time to Merc. Mer is retired in the pit lane, and what could have been for him, it was a really brilliant race from him. Unfortunately, it has just come to a close. No points on the horizon for him, and it's unfortunate to see. Now we'll take it back to Kangar Khan and Skyzy in this one because Skyzy's losing DRS to Kangar Khan. If Kangar Khan can gain in the third sector and then get just probably about 4 tenths is what you'd need to really try and make a move. Unfortunately for him though, Merc has he's lost a bit of time to Skyzy. As I say that, I think Skyzy does have DRS. Skyzy has got the DRS. He's not got the slipstream though, so that could be a little bit of an advantage towards Kangar Khan as he's actually managed to close in to Lacquerate. Has Merc, and it seems like Tommy was having a scrap with someone. I think that might have just been perspective coming into clutch there. DC coming to the pit lane on lap number 7, or the beginning of lap number 17, from 16 laps on those medium tires. You'd expect Sharp to probably come in at some point, who's losing a lot of time at this point in the race. Soft mediums circuit, you're not really looking to do. The alternate strategy. It's not the strongest strat, and you lose quite a bit of time. So I guess that is something to take away from this Grand Prix for Sharp. We'll ride back on board with Kangar Khan, who's lost quite a bit of time to Skyzy now. Seems like they're probably past their prime on those mediums, and they're just trying to settle into the race. They are putting away from the cars behind those, so it seems like this will be a secure fight for P2. If Merc can close within the second that he needs for DRS, which he is just on the cusp of doing so. If he uses a little bit of ERS down the straight, Lacquerate is none, wow. But yeah, if he could just get a good run through 130R and break within that 1 second window that he needs, and there it is. He's just got the 1 second, and that is DRS for Merc. I believe Tommy's just picked up, I don't know if this was right now, he's picked up a 3-second time penalty. Hang on, I'm just going to quickly pause. Oh dear, it's all flooding in. A lot of glitches when you rejoin the game, but I'm afraid that is just customary with me. With Kangar Khan really closing up to the back of Skyzy, who's had a terrible run through the third sector, it seems, because he's now out of DRS range. To Merc, it's all fluctuating throughout the pack. We're in a bit of a slump at the moment in terms of full-on scraps, but I'll tell you what, this is a very interesting race. If Lacquerate can just maintain the 3-second gap that he needs, he's unfortunately not been able to do that. But I'll tell you what, look at Merc onto the back of him. Merc is now 3 tenths from Lacquerate, and if he gets within 3 seconds, he could be in a race-winning position. Could Merc is now coming on the run-up towards the spoon curb. Is he going to try and maybe make us end in an unorthodox position? We'll just have to see for ourselves. He's hanging back for the time being, but I'll tell you what, if he can go up the inside or even boldly around the outside of 130R, I will lose my marbles. Now coming down the straightaway, up the hill, the only figure of 8 circuit on the calendar I'd like to mention. We're just at 130R. You're heading up along the underpass out of the Degners. That is where you go under the track. Really brilliant part of the circuit, but now this will be the move for P2. It's not a net anymore. Here it is, Lacquerate with a bad run out of the final corner, and you can see hounding at the rear, jumping at the bit. It's Merc coming around the outside. No overtake needed at all. He's gone for the move, and he's managed to pick up P2 on circuit. Skyzy's hanging on in there, but Lacquerate now could be falling into the clutches of the 2 Frenchmen behind him. Skyzy and Kangar Khan, fellow countrymen, of course, in this league. They're both French. They're both of the French nationality, and they're going to come charging at the back of the Dutchman, I do believe. A lot of Dutch league racers out there, but I do believe he's actually the only one in IRL PC, which is nice to see. There's a lot of variety. We're a welcoming community. If you'd like to join IRL, I think it's a good time to mention through the second sector. We're not going to see any moves really coming out here. InvictusRacingLeague.com is our website, and I'll quickly pull up the Twitter. But I'll tell you what, might not have time to, because Kangar Khan is right onto the back. Oh my goodness me, he is absolutely he's latched onto the back of Skyzy here, and he'll be in a prime position to maybe make a move even before 130R comes. You tell you what, he is right onto the back of Skyzy, the Frenchman on Frenchman action here. Now through 130R, he's not close enough to make a move stick, but he is he's really kicked into gear in this Grand Prix. And I'll tell you what, Lacqueray also losing a lot of time. We can see 3 wide on the run up towards turn number 1. Here we are now, coming off of the final corner. We'll see if any moves maybe are made of this. Lacqueray going defensive to the inside line. I think Skyzy might be trying to sense an opportunity to go for an overtake on the Mercedes car to pick up P3. Kizniak getting past Sharp. Sharp not making use of those soft tyres at this point in time, as now he can't make a move through the first corner. I'll just quickly get up to Twitter. Tell you what, seems like a decent scrap going on between the pair of them. Sharp has managed to pull out ahead of his rival there. Skyzy losing a lot of time through the first sector. He's not confident through there, unfortunately. If you would like to join Invictus Racing League PC, of course, that is on Twitter, InvictusRL_PC. And then I'll just quickly get up the main league's Twitter. Just quickly here. It's just Invictus RL, right? So that is it for you. That is our Twitter name. And make sure you drop a follow and stay updated for more streams, of course. Throughout the week, we're always streaming, which is brilliant to see. A lot of streams every single week, as we're just in a bit of a dull period, I will admit, where we're probably not going to see too many moves. 8 laps and 9 laps on the medium tyres, a little bit fresher for Kangar Khan, which is proving to be a slight advantage for him. And tell you what, through the final sector, he is really quick, and oh dear, he's just picked up a 3-second time penalty. It's not appeared at the bottom for me, but we'll have a little rundown of the penalties. 3 seconds for Tommy, 3 seconds for Lacqueray, 3 seconds for Kangar Khan, and Ace Boy has got 5 seconds of penalties to his name. Then Kizniak, DC, Sharps just picked one up as we speak, and Ploep have all got penalties to their name. So with that being said, we'll get back into the fighting. We'll put it back to the tyres, see everyone's conditions. Seems like Sharp getting past Jasko through turn number 1, finally kicking into gear with those soft tyres. 8th position, decent enough finish for him. Tell you what, I'm saying that a lot. Sharp is a very, very consistent driver. He's been in the points in most races so far this season, and he's always in and around that position where he is now, in the lower end of the points. I was about to say what I've been saying the entire stream, but that will help him come the end of the season, where you just need the smallest of margins to overtake your rivals. Of course, a good position is what he really does require to make some leaps and bounds in the championship order. But he's in a decent spot where he is now. The improvement can come later in the season. Now, look at the gap between the pair of these drivers, because Skyzy's struggling onto the back of Lacqueray, and Kangar Khan is chomping at the bit. He's right onto the rear of his fellow countryman. We'll see what he can do. He's using up his overtake here, and he's actually going to go for it. He's tucked right into the slipstream. He's at the rear of the car. Is he going to go for it into turn number 1? He's just not got the run, and that is just because of the DRS train. Lacqueray really holding up the train here, and it's allowed for Merck to get away. Merck's not pulled in to the 3-second window that he needs. Maybe he's just saving up a bit of his tyres and a bit of his ERS. He's got 30% to utilise come the end of the Grand Prix. But Kangar Khan not in a good spot to fight with Skyzy here, because Skyzy's got Lacqueray in front of him. So he just can't go for the move. He used up quite a bit of unnecessary overtake that he could have utilised in a better position when Skyzy, who is struggling through a second sector, he's not quick through a second sector. That is his weak point. He needs to strike when the opportunity arises, does Kangar Khan. Especially through this part of the track. He gets so close to the rear, and Lacqueray pulls away from Skyzy. This is really the Achilles heel to Skyzy, who had a brilliant drive last week, picking up second in the end. He could have gone on to win it if there was just a couple more laps on the back end of the Russian Grand Prix, but it just was not meant to be. Brilliant stoic drive from him, and he's translating that to today, because he will pick up the position on lacquer rate. So this is a P4 or P3 situation. This is fighting for the podium between lacquer rate and Skyzy. Maybe Kangar Khan could actually be going for it here, because now Skyzy's not close enough to lacquer rate. Lacquer rate going defensive to the inside, not assisting Skyzy with the overtake actually, given the slipstream, and it's not allowed for Kangar Khan to get by because of the DRS advantage being so powerful. It's really proven to be troublesome for Skyzy. Both these guys, for Kangar Khan, sorry, but both these guys with 3 seconds of time penalties. I think Kangar Khan's probably wanting Skyzy to get a move on here and overtake lacquer rate. Both these guys with penalties to their name. Skyzy will pick up the podium if he just stays within 3 seconds of lacquer rate, which seemingly he's doing pretty nicely here at this point. So yeah, it's just about for Kangar Khan getting past him, and I think a Sharp around. Sharp lost it. I think that's by himself, and he's into the wall. You can see he's missing his front. Oh, he's missing a little bit more than his end plate. He's got a T-tray on the right-hand side, and that is troublesome for him. He's going to pull into the pit lane, most likely fit a new wing, and just go to the end on that. If he'll come out ahead of DC, I don't expect him he would. It's unfortunate for him, but Kangar Khan again in this position, coming up towards 130R. Gets so close to the rear of Skyzy, and he just can't capitalise on it because of the DRS advantage that Skyzy does possess. We'll see maybe if Kangar Khan got the better run off the exit, coming through towards turn 1. He is right up to the rear of Skyzy. He's moving both ways. He's actually pulling alongside the Renault car now, coming up the inside into turn 1. He just couldn't get the drive. He can't get close enough. He really needs the exit out of the final couple of corners. But now we're getting towards the dying at laps of this race, where they have to push, and they're going to need to push if they want to make up these positions. It is do or die for Kangar Khan. He wants P4 or he wants nothing at the end of the day, and that is the mentality that he needs to have to really take the fight to Skyzy. He's been a worthy adversary in this Grand Prix. We'll see maybe if he gets us pulled close enough, coming up towards the hairpin. No, he's not close enough. Sharp in the pit lane. Luckily, well, it's good to see he's not retiring from this one, which is nice to see that they do like to finish the races. What about here? Kangar Khan closer than he has been before. Is it enough to make the move coming through 130R possibly? He could utilise a bit of overtake if he wants, and he actually might be going for it. He hinted at it. He wants to get a move on Skyzy. Skyzy can afford to let this happen as well. Realistically, P3 is the only option that he's got here. Maybe he's just trying to hold up Kangar Khan ever so slightly and just keep them at arm's length. With Scopefielder, he's not had a good race. He's been quite quiet in this one, actually. As now, can Kangar Khan make the move that he's been desiring for so long? On lap 25, he's running out of laps to do it as well. Skyzy's just not getting a move on. He's not overtaking lacquer rate. He could if he wanted to as well. That is what is happening. But Kangar Khan, understandably, would be super frustrated with the Renault car not opting to go for the risk, because he doesn't need to. Actually, seems like Scopefielder losing a bit more time than he would have hoped to, because he's got Ace Boy hounding at the back of him. 2 laps fresher tyres seemingly beneficial to the McLaren car for today, but he does normally drive. Well, last week he drove the Williams, so I think he's a Williams driver. He might just pick the wrong car for today, which I guess is understandable. Here it is though. Skyzy, what will he do? Is he going to let Kangar Khan by, let them have their fun, and maybe just benefit? Why would you let your... yeah, actually, it's smart from Skyzy. He's gonna help out lacquer rate in this one by just fending off Kangar Khan, so he's limiting the damage that Kangar Khan can do to him. He will pull out points to the Racing Point car. I do actually believe he's already ahead of him in the standings, so this is smart play from the Racing Point. Sorry, from the Renault car. I'm getting both of them mixed up, but maybe this could be the opportunity for Kangar Khan. 2.5 tenths is the gap between himself and Skyzy. Coming on the run up towards turn number 1, he just has to pull out the slipstream, and yeah, no, he can't get the move done, unfortunately. So coming on to lap 26, Merck, we've not checked in with the championship leader for a long time. He's extending his championship in comparison to his rivals Scopefielder and Skyzy at the end of the Grand Prix, regardless of whether he takes a win or not. But 3 wins out of 4 seems quite promising for him. I think I'd like to have that rather than just a podium streak every race. He's been on the podium every single race. You've got to hand it to him. At the end of the day, he's been definitely the strongest out of all. As now, Kangar Khan, he's only got 1.5 laps to do it here on the back of Skyzy. And if he wants to do it, he's got to do it in a place where you wouldn't expect an overtake. We'll see. Now he's lost quite a bit of time to the Renault car. He's just trying to create a little bit of breathing room, cool the engine. I'd expect, with all that pushing that he's been doing in this race, he's probably just overheating the car ever so slightly. But he does gain a lot on the exit of Spoon, and he's a lot quicker. Coming down into 130R, 2 tenths is the gap, and Skyzy's also lost quite a lot here. It will be a tough order for Lacquerate to lose the position to Kangar Khan. But tell you what, this is going to be the move. This has to be the opportunity for Kangar Khan that is arising now on the straightaway. Beginning lap number 27 out of 27. Kangar Khan, it is now or absolutely never. He just can't find the opening on the back of Skyzy in towards turn number 1. What about on the exit? He's certainly having a look at it. He's so close to the rear of the Renault car. Got on board with the racing point as he just can't lose. He can't get by. It's like a brick wall of Skyzy that he is. Oh, Skyzy's almost on the verge of running out of fuel here. Hopefully he's got enough to go to the end, but Merckx, he's gonna have to push like I can't remember the analogy that I used on the last lap, but he's gonna have to push like crazy on the final lap if he wants to taste victory at the end of it. 3 seconds on the car of Tommy. Is he gonna push with all his might, with all his strength that he's got left in those tyres to finish off this race in the league? Kangar Khan, though, he's way closer than he ever has been before. This could be the move for him into 130R, I think. We'll have to find out, because now on the final lap, lap 27 of 27, he's utilising the last of his battery. He's just got to do it if he wants to get the position on circuit. It's not going to be enough. We'll go on board with our race leader, who's absolutely dominated this one. It is Tommy winning it out in Japan. Kangar Khan, he can't find the gap on Skyzy. So that is P2 for Merckx by 2 tenths of a second. He didn't manage to take it, but it is P3 for Skyzy, P4 for Lacquerate. Kangar Khan coming home in 6th. Scopefielder in 6th, Kangar Khan in 5th. Ace Boy finishing it out in 7th position. That means Kiesliak. Pretty quiet race from him, I do believe. But he finishes out in 8th position as Jasko in 9th. Probably the wrong strategy call from him. Sorry, I'm so sorry. Probably the wrong strategy call to go onto the hard tyres. Then DC having a very quiet one. He caused a lot of issues for Lacquerate, and it was a tough order to get past. He ended up losing it by almost spinning it out himself, which completely screwed him over. So he crossed the line in 10th position. The last of the points paying position to blow up was lapped in this race. So that means Sharp, what could have been for him. He was on the alternate strategy. He's in about 7th or 8th position. He could have had more in this race, but he crossed the line. And unfortunately, that is the end for his race. He wasn't able to pick up any points paying position in 11th. That is the end of the Grand Prix. Jasko manages to take driver of the day. Of course, that is due to making up the most positions in the Grand Prix. But there it is. Tommy picks up his first win of the Grand Prix. He stands atop the podium, and that is some way to do it in the dominant style that he did, ending up winning it by just 2 tenths after his penalty. As we got this, we're done. I'm quite pleased with myself for my first ever stream with OBS, but yeah, I'm very pleased with it today. We'll run through the finalized grid order, of course, without any penalties applied, done by the real life stewards. Tommy winning the Grand Prix, Merckx in second, Skyzy with his second podium in a row, coming a bit of a streak for him in third, fourth position for Lackrate, Kangar Khan in fifth, Scopefielder in sixth, seventh for Aceboy, Kislyak in eighth, and ninth for Jasko, 10th for DC, and the last of the drivers who didn't finish in the points, Sharp and Plow Up. Then 3 DNFs in this race, 2 of them being debutants, Mer and Kalo, and then unfortunately for Fuss, ended quite early for him. And that is the end of the race. I do hope you have all very much enjoyed this one. I don't really know the protocol for ending the stream, but I guess I've got to tell you about next week. I'm trying to just quickly, I'll go onto the standing screen for you so you can see we're headed to Italy next week. This is the standings as of Russia, so yeah, not completely accurate at the moment. We'll just I was just doing it to check the calendar, but you can see round number 5 will be held at Italy. We're coming up to the end of the, well, sorry, the halfway point of the season. But for me, I'll go back onto the game screen. For me, that is all for today. Thank you all very much for watching. I think I'm good to end it. Don't know why we've got Monaco in the lobby. They're probably all going to have some fun at the end of it. But from me, that is the end. So thank you all very much for watching. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel, like the video, and follow us on Twitter at InvictusRL. But as for me, it is goodbye. J. Cole will be with me next week. Catch us at Wednesday, 8 PM, like usual. Have a good day, everyone.